Hello students, I welcome you all to this session of multi-stage vapor compression refrigeration system. In this lecture, we will discuss the fundamentals of multi-stage vapor compression refrigeration system, its application, and how we can further improve the performance of multi-stage vapor compression refrigeration system. Now, these multi-stage vapor compression refrigeration systems are usually used when there is a requirement of very low temperatures, and cryogenics is that branch of engineering which deals with the systems which are operating at very low temperature, and temperature produced in number of applications ranges from minus 150 degrees Celsius to minus 273 degrees Celsius. Okay, and one of the application of cryogenics is shown on the left hand side take in a food processing industry. Now let us understand what do we mean by multi-stage vapor compression refrigeration system. Multi-stage system is a refrigeration system where we have more than two flow side pressures, or sometimes we have two flow side pressures also. Okay. Now in a single stage VCR system, we have a high pressure side and we have a low pressure side. High pressure side is usually the condenser, and low pressure side is usually the one which operates at low pressure, for example evaporator. Okay, so if we have more than two low pressure side, then the system is called as the multi-stage compression system. Now these multi-stage vapor compression systems can be classified into the different types. First one, we have multi-compression system, where we employ more than one compressor for the vapor compression refrigeration system. Second one, we have multi-evaporator system, where we employ more than one evaporator in the vapor compression refrigeration system. And third one, we have cascade system. Again, it is an example of multi-stage vapor compression refrigeration system. Okay, but in this case, we generally use two different kinds of refrigerants for producing very low temperatures. Now, as discussed in the previous slide, we have different types of multi-stage vapor compression refrigeration system. The left hand side is of multi-compressor VCR system. Multi-compressor, as you can see here, that we are using two compressors here, one condenser, one evaporator. Okay, so this is of two-stage vapor compression refrigeration system. And on the right hand side, as you can see, we have evaporator 1, evaporator 2, evaporator 3. That is, we are having more than one evaporator. So that's why this system is called as multi-evaporator refrigeration system. Now, as far as applications of multi-stage vapor compression refrigeration systems are concerned, there are a number of applications where these systems are generally used. First example I have discussed in the first slide, that is cryogenic slide, where I have discussed an example of food processing industry. Apart from this, we have the application of these systems in pharmaceutical industry as well as in dairy refrigeration plant. Okay. Now, in this slide, we will discuss why we are going for multi-stage compression refrigeration system. Okay. Now, if we use single stage vapor compression cycle for these very low temperatures, then number of losses takes place. Okay, the first one we have throttling loss, second one we have superheating loss, third we have compressor discharge temperature increase, fourth one we have quality of the vapor increase, and fifth one we have specific volume increase. So let us understand one by one how the different losses increase. Now on a PS diagram and as well as TS diagram, the line 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 1. These represents a single stage cycle. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 represents a single stage cycle, and in this case the evaporator temperature is usually around minus 5 degrees Celsius, or at the maximum we can say minus 15 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now in different industrial applications, as I discussed in the previous slide, we require temperature of very low range. Okay. So these temperature ranges now are represented by 4' to 1' on both TS and TH diagram, as well as 4 double dash 1 double dash on both TS and TS diagram represents further decrease in evaporator temperature. Okay. Now first one, the throttling loss increase. Right. So you know that throttling loss is a constant enthalpy process, and ideally in a Carnot refrigeration the expansion should take place at constant entropy. That is, the process is isentropic process. Now coming to the TS diagram, the throttling process is represented by 3-4 when we talk of the evaporator temperature around minus 5 degrees Celsius or minus 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, or just previously discussed, let us take it to be minus 15 degrees Celsius also. So the loss is represented by the triangle on the left hand side, as you can see, represented by the shaded triangle. Okay. Now if we go further to a lower temperature, that is below minus 15. So let us take the temperature requirement now is minus 60 degrees Celsius or minus 50 degrees Celsius. Now the throttling loss increase as represented by the triangle area as discussed in the previous case, plus the trapezoidal area, middle one, shaded part. Okay. So this is how the throttling loss increase as we move to a lower evaporator temperature. And if we further move to point number 4 double dash, okay, then the total loss from 3 to 4 double dash, as you can see on the left hand side, will be the shaded area of a triangle plus shaded area of trapezoid, both upper part as well as lower part. Okay. The second one, we have the superheating losses increase. Again refer to the shaded area on the right hand side at the top part in a TS diagram. The superheat loss increases as represented by 2, 2 dash and 2 double dash respectively. Okay students. Now third one, we have compressor discharge temperature increase. Now come to the diagram pH. So here as you can see 2 double dash, 2 dash and 2. These are compressor discharge temperatures. Now if you move from 4 to 4 dash or 4 to 4 double dash, the compressor discharge temperatures are 2 dash or either 2 double dash. Okay. So the compressor discharge temperature increase. This you can also see in TS diagram above. So 2 double dash is at a higher temperature as compared to 2 dash, and 2 dash is still higher at a higher temperature as compared to 2. so the compressor discharge temperature is higher. This results in damage of the compressor. And fourth one, we have quality of the vapor at the inlet to the evaporator increase. Now again refer to point number 4, 4 dash and 4 double dash on TS diagram. So as you can see here that the quality of vapor increases, which results in decrease in the refrigeration effect. Okay, and the last one is the specific volume increase. Now specific volume of the compressor, which is a steady flow device, is represented by integral minus VdP. Okay, so as we move from point number 1 to 1 dash or from 1 to 1 double dash in a pH diagram, the compressor specific volume or the specific volume at the entry to the compressor increases. Now the value of minus integral VdP will go on increasing as the specific volume increases as we move from point number 1 to 1 dash or 1 double dash. Okay students. Now how we can improve the efficiency of these multi-stage vapor compression refrigeration systems. Now two concepts are generally used for increasing the performance of these kinds of systems. First we have flash gas removal and second one we have intercooling. Now intercooling are again of the two types. First one we have water intercooling, where we employ cooling water for cooling of the refrigerant vapor coming from the low stage compressor or a low pressure compressor. And second is flash intercooling, where we use liquid refrigerant for cooling the vapors which are coming from low pressure compressor. Okay. Now this is a slide which indicates the water intercooling and flash intercooling. Now as you can see on the left hand side is an thick of water intercooling. Now refrigerant vapor enter into low stage compressor first in a low temperature and low pressure condition. Okay, then it undergoes compression. The pressure and temperature increases of the refrigerant vapor. Then it is allowed to enter into the water intercooler, where we supply the cooling water and it takes away the superheat of the vapor refrigerant. And then after that the cool superheated vapor are again allowed to enter into the high pressure compressor. Now in water intercooling we are not able to completely de-superheat the refrigerant vapor because the water at low temperature in sufficient quantity is not available. And second one is flash intercooling, as shown on the right hand side. Here as you can see, the vapor refrigerant from the low pressure compressor enter into the flash tank. Here the refrigerant vapors are cooled by the liquid refrigerant itself, and then the vapor are then allowed to enter into the high stage compressor. Okay, the benefit is that depending upon the refrigerant and the operating conditions, we can completely de-superheat the vapor which are coming from the low pressure compressor. Okay, and this slide helps us to understand the concept of flash gas removal. Now this is a technique where the liquid refrigerant and vapor refrigerant are separated. In flash intercooling we are not separating the liquid and vapor refrigerant. So in this case we separate the vapor refrigerant in a flash tank and allow it to move to the high pressure compressor, and liquid refrigerant is allowed to enter into the low pressure